Hello, just want to take a couple minutes to talk to you if I could. I was out in the garden harvesting some vegetables I planted. I planted these back in the early spring, and that's one thing I like about carrots is you can continue to harvest those all the way up. I mean, it's December and I'm still getting good fresh carrots out of the ground. But that made me think, you know what, there's a book, and in that book it states, as a man soweth, so shall he reap. And as men, I think it's important to realize that truth, how it applies to our lives. What we're planting in our lives is what will grow in our lives and what we will reap out of our lives. If you're spending your time working and planting things in there, whether intentionally or unintentionally, that are not characteristics you'll be proud of, maybe you're spending time running with the crowd that is on the edge of unsavory things. Their moral choices aren't moral choices that you would want to be published on the internet or put out there in public. Maybe you need to make a change in who you're running with and what you're doing. If you're planting things in there of laziness, slothfulness, maybe you're not getting up and going to work when you should. Maybe you're not being aggressive about moving to the next level, or maybe you're not being challenging, whatever it is, to improve yourself. We have to continue to improve ourselves. We have to continue to grow. None of us should ever look at ourselves and say, you know what, I've achieved it all, I'm good. Doesn't mean you can't be content. Doesn't mean you can't be happy where you are, but we can all use refinement. I mean, I see flaws in myself each day that I know I need to work on. Maybe I need to have a little more patience. Maybe I need to have a little more understanding. Maybe I need to learn things about the world and what's going on. Maybe I need to keep up more with economic times. But for characters as a man that's going to be the leader in this world, leader in a home, leader with friends, setting an example that other people want to be around, setting an example to where you can inspire, encourage others. You have to challenge yourself, and that means that you have to continue to plant things in your life that are good. Now, how do you do that? Look at people that are achieving what you would like to achieve. Benchmark off those. Make sure you're benchmarking off people, though, that don't just have one shiny part of their lives and the rest of it is falling apart. And when I say achieve things, I'm not talking necessarily about wealth and material things like that. Those are not wrong to have. Those are good items to have. You know, I like having money and I like having a nice house to live in. But true wealth comes from friendships and from family and relationships that are true and they're meaningful. You need to plant that in your life for other people to be able to see and work off of. You know, when I was growing the vegetables and the carrots that are out there and some other things, I grow a lot of different things. What I would have to do is go back at different times and pull out the weeds that grow between. I didn't plant the weeds, they will pop up. I don't know why carrots and tomatoes and corn can't just pop up like weeds, but they don't. But what you have to do is you have to constantly check your life and find out what's growing. You may be planting good things in your life. You may be working to do that. You may have relationships that are strong and you're going through, but you have to take a look in the mirror and see, is there anything else that's growing in my garden that doesn't need to be there? And you need to pull that out. You need to weed that out and pull it out. You know, I'm doing these videos trying to reach out and just talk to some young men out there, maybe some men that aren't so young, that haven't had figures in their life to speak into them or to mentor them or to set an example. I was lucky enough to have that. Throughout my life, I've had people that would speak to me and let me know when they saw weeds growing in my garden that didn't need to be there, things that needed to be addressed. They would help me when I was needing to plant good characteristics in my life and help guide me along, whether it was choosing courses when I was going to college or just making business decisions, different things like that. I didn't always take their advice, and often I paid the price for it. But I just want to take a few minutes and talk to you and put that out. You know, I was in the garden and it just kind of popped in my mind. I planted these and that's what I've got. If you look around and you're jealous of what other people have, if you're jealous of relationships that other people have, what are you doing to grow those relationships in your life? Are you putting in time with others? Are you being considerate of others? Are you meeting the needs of others before you meet the needs of yourself? Are you thinking about others and putting them first? If you're putting yourself first, why would somebody want to be around you all the time? Think about that. If you don't have the things in this world you would like to have, if you don't have the financial things that you would like to have, what are you doing work-wise? What are you doing to challenge yourself? Maybe you need to have a second job. Maybe you need to pick up a side gig on the side and do that. Maybe you need to, if you're at your current job, make sure you're going not just to the bare minimum, that you're going above and beyond to show your value and to show your worth. Different things that you can do to challenge yourself. A lot of times people will fuss and complain that, hey, this person had a lucky break. They just, they were born with that skill. I never forget, several years ago, I went to a pro golf tournament. And while I was there, it was fun being on the course, walking around, watching those guys hit it. I mean, they'd had skills that were just unbelievable. But what really impressed me is we got there early. Before they ever went on the course, they were there warming up and practicing for an hour. It seemed like an hour, hour and a half they were out there. And you know what? As soon as they were done and came off the 18th hole, you know where they went? They went back, and whatever flaw several of them saw within themselves during their time out at each individual hole, whether it was putting, whether it was driving, whatever it was, they worked on that again immediately after. They were pros. They were the best in the world. And you know what they did? They kept working on it, and they kept working on it, and they kept working on it. They didn't just wake up with a skill and go out there and look good. They put time in, and they worked hard for it. That's what we have to do. If we want to grow things in our life that we enjoy, grow things that we're proud of, what we have to make sure is we're breaking up the soil, we're putting in the nutrition, the fertilizer that's needed to grow it, we're making sure we're planting what we truly want to harvest, and when it comes harvest time, we're not disappointed because what we didn't want grew. But anyway, when I was out in the garden, that just popped into my mind and my spirit when I was doing that today, and I thought I would take a couple minutes and throw a video together for it. If you like this, please, if you would, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Appreciate it if you would drop a comment on there. On another side note, I do get some feedback, some from some ladies out there. If you are a lady and you would like to drop a comment, please do that. I speak to guys because I'm a guy and that's the audience I know to speak to, but don't hesitate. And also, if there's things that you would like for guys to know, don't hesitate to drop that in there. I appreciate any feedback you would give me, and I hope you have a good day today. Thank you.